will I lose muscle gains I've made during this lockdown? Who wants to start?
That's
I
quite
mean,
a broad question. That's quite a tough question because it all depends on what you're doing. If you're still training and you're still hitting adequate protein intake and you're still creating an overload for your muscles, you're not going to lose any gains. You might actually make some. But if
yeah,
you're sitting about doing nothing and then eating burritos all the time, you're going to lose gains and you're going to gain body fat and you're going to get weaker and your muscles are going to atrophy. It all depends entirely on what you're doing. Um, just because it's a lockdown doesn't mean you have to lose progress or even slow down with progress if you're able to train with the same intensity. If you can't, just through lack of equipment, then train to the best of your ability to preserve as much as you possibly can.
yeah.
That's
Um,
what I was going to say. Like, if you can't work towards bettering yourself or gaining more muscle, work to maintain.
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to maintain muscle than it is to initially get it. What takes you 4 months to gain muscle size or muscle strength, whatever it is, um, you'll even if you step back a little bit and you're not in the gym every day like we aren't at the moment, once you step back in, you'll get it back in 1 2 weeks. Our muscles do retain that nuclei that we get from working out, so that will come back quickly. The analogy I've used with a lot of my clients at the moment is imagine you're driving somewhere and there's a diversion. Now, you can go via the diversion. It's not going to be as efficient. You may lose a little bit of time in getting towards your goal. But if you go through the diversion, eventually you'll get to your goal because eventually you're going to rejoin the main road. The only other option is you turn around and you go home. Like, and that's not benefiting anyone. If you turn around and you're just going to stop doing it, then yes, you're going to lose muscle mass, you're going to lose your gains, etc. Go via the diversion, just put yourself through it, learn a new road, learn some new skills, learn those new challenges, and you'll be better equipped when you rejoin onto the main path.
It's a good analogy.
End of the day, like as Alex said, like it all depends what kind of gains you're talking about. If you're talking about muscle mass, as he said, if you maintain, if you try and keep, if you keep your protein sources up, like you might, as Ryan said, you might lose a little bit, but it will come back in a couple of weeks after you start hitting those weights again. If you're lucky enough to have weights at home, use them. Unless you're lifting really light weights at the gym and now you've started lifting heavier weights, you're going to gain strength. If you haven't got any weights at home and you're worried you're going to lose strength, naturally you will. You're not lifting heavy weights at the end of the day. Your body's just going to be like, well, I don't need this. It will lose it.
Yeah.
If you're talking about cardio, it's the same thing. You've got space. You can go for a run for an hour a day. Do it. Like you have to look around your neighborhood, see what sites there are. Like it's better than running on a treadmill. You're not going to lose your cardio gains because you still got space to run in at the end of the day. All I can say is just if you're worried about losing stuff, try and maintain what you got because, as Ryan said, like it may take longer to get wherever you're going to, but at least you can do whatever you can to try and preserve what you got.